Now, John Gray was finally able to put together a dominant outing this season for the Rangers because prior to Saturday, the Rangers had lost 4 of the 6 games Gray started in this season, with the righty compiling a 4.40 ERA during that span. However, yesterday was a totally different story because Gray completed 8 innings for the first time this season, taking a no-no into the 7th inning thanks to his four-seam fastball. Now, Gray said this in regards to how his fastball was working yesterday. He said, quote, "I remember how it felt like a fastball. It was a good ground ball pitch. I could use it early on and really get underneath some guys' bats." Not to mention, Gray made a pitch grip adjustment on his slider, which resulted in a favorable outcome. The grip change actually increased his slider's velocity by 2.8 miles per hour. Now, despite the grip change and the improved velocity, his no-no did come to an end in the 7th, when Jace Peterson jumped on a changeup and singled to break up the no-hit bid with 2 outs. But luckily for Texas, the 2-out single did not get Gray out of his groove, as he ended up going 8 innings, giving up only 3 hits, 2 walks, and fanning 5. Now, the Rangers' runs were produced by the long ball from Nathan Lowe in the 4th and Ezekiel Duran in the 9th. Texas would win 5-0. Now, the Yankees were able to win their 2nd consecutive game against the Tampa Bay Rays this season thanks to the reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge, because Judge would put up 6 of the Yankees' 9 runs after homering in back-to-back innings. And Aaron's first blast came in the 5th, and his second came in the 6th. Both shots scored Torres. Then an Oswald Cabrera single to right gave New York the 9-8 lead in the late innings and the eventual win over Tampa. And Game 2 of the Dodgers and Padres series started with a blast, 3 to be in fact. The first home run came from Juan Soto in the 1st, then J.D. Martinez hit a 3-run shot for the boys in blue to get them ahead by 2. But just an inning later, the Padres second baseman Han-Sang Kim sent a ball over the wall to make it a 1-run deficit for the Padres. Now, despite the early inning fireworks, LA's Julio Urias settled in, only relinquishing 1 more hit to San Diego after the 2 home runs from Kim and Soto. He struck out 4, getting a lot of weak contact in the ballgame, which resulted in outs and allowed him to last 7 full innings. Now, San Diego would threaten in the 9th inning, but they would eventually come up short to the rival Dodgers for a second straight night, losing 4-2. And now the Phillies got out to an early lead in Denver after RBI singles from Nicholas Castellanos and Alec Bohm in the 1st inning. However, a scary moment occurred in the 2nd after Nick Castellanos hit a comebacker to Rockies pitcher Ryan Feltner. Now, Feltner was struck by the 92-mile-an-hour comebacker that sent him to the ground. The good news was he was able to walk off under his own power with a little bit of support from the Rockies training staff. Now let's move on to the 3rd, when Colorado got to within 1 run after a McMahon bloop RBI single to make it 4-3 Philly. But the Phils would eventually widen the lead once again. After Bryce Harper homered to right field, it was a 2-run shot to secure a 7-4 Philadelphia win. Now, after homering the 7th inning to tie the game at 3 in South Florida, the Marlins center fielder Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s day went from good to bad after he injured his foot. Now, the injury occurred while attempting to run down a fly ball in left center field. Chisholm ended up jamming his foot at the base of the wall. As you can see, unlike most parks, the base of the wall in Miami is solid cement with no padding over it. So basically, Jazz rammed his foot into the side of a street curb. Luckily, the x-rays came back negative and the injury will officially go down as a right foot contusion. But I'll bet you'll see some padding at the base of the wall in Miami in the next couple of days if they were smart. Because honestly, you gotta blame the Marlins front office on this one. They gotta have some common sense. I mean, when you have a long strip of thick cement sticking out in the field of play, I mean, obviously Jazz Chisholm Jr., originally a second baseman, he just made the transition from second to the outfield prior to the 2023 season, and he's been doing a great job out there, frankly. I mean, he's 91st percentile in sprint speed, 92nd in OAA, 90 in outfield jumps, and 73 in arm strength. I mean, he's really been improving in center field as one of the better defensive metrics among all center fielders early on this season, and to go down like this in the way it happened, really disappointing and kind of a little bit embarrassing for the Marlins as an organization. And I'm just surprised that no one thought, hey, maybe we should cover this thick strip of concrete that's sticking out in the field of play with some padding, or at least shave it down or something, because that concrete curb out there basically doesn't need to be there and shouldn't be there for the safety of players. And that's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on the road to 1,500 subscribers. And as always, I will catch you guys later.